All right, so we got a round table here with these bums. Who we got here?
We got some
Matthew
VIPs.
and Carlos. Cabeza de la Mesa, the head of the table. Yeah, the CWO.
Yes.
Did you guys watch the pay-per-view?
Yes.
All right, what did you? So let's just go over it. It was a good show, and like the one thing that WWE's been doing very well lately is killing it on pay-per-views with production. It just seems like a bit like you could so this was. I'm gonna wonder what I'm trying to find this out. I want to know what the social media numbers were for this weekend, because on Saturday night you had the WWE going against the NBA, going against UFC, and you also had the Canelo fight. Now the production on the Canelo fight was unbelievable too. Like, Konnan? Did you see the entrance?
That was incredible, bro.
It was unbelievable. You know why it's incredible? Because they got a lot of stiff competition with WWE going on Saturday nights.
Not just that, bro.
Right.
He's on TV Azteca. That's a major network. That's free network.
Right.
They got a lot of money, and they wanted to show off, and they did.
Yeah, they made him look like he was like a professional wrestling character coming out. It's like
right. The only thing that was missing is that he knocked the guy out, which he didn't. Right. But that was the only thing that was missing, because he beat the out of him. But the guy was tough. That British guy was tough as
he was. And they showed did you see I posted on Twitter? They showed them in the locker room after the match, like him giving respect. It's like, hey, you got me a good one there. It's like, yeah, it's like you're a really strong guy. It's like say like he couldn't believe he couldn't knock the guy out, because he was hitting the guy with some shots.
Well, he even said at the end in the post fight interview, he said, bro, you just gotta imagine everybody's coming at me with their best at all times. Like everybody's coming with their A+ game, and if he ain't on his A game, he's done.
Right. Now, what's also interesting, so was this the first where WWE and UFC were actually going head-to-head on pay-per-view under Endeavor?
Yeah. Which
is weird that they're but they formatted it like the WWE show started at 8 o'clock and it was over by like 10:30ish, so you could they did the thing like where you can watch WWE and then buy the UFC after the first couple fights, and then see the main events.
There's just smart people running both companies. You know what I'm saying?
Well, plus two, if you notice on UFC, this is the one thing that I said. When Endeavor bought the WWE, they bought arguably the best production machine going today for like television production on the way they produce things. Because you notice UFC, you know how they do the CGI special effects when the WWE guys are coming out in the entrance?
Right.
They were using the CGI for the UFC entrances now, where they show that like the CG, the guys like they're very like all right off the bat. You can see the two cup right.
And that all goes back to the genius of Vince, because he was early TV. He was in the TV in the very early stages. So he saw how it grew. He saw where it was going. And he probably saw other shows like the Emmys and shit like that. And he said, I want my shot like that. He understood how important that was. And now you've got some of the best writing they've ever done. There's probably less filters and less to go through. And everybody's just working, bro. Because that Puerto Rico show was incredible.
Yeah, it's always
you have to stand up. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one of the big influences on Vince as far as innovating with the TV production and upgrading it was Dick Ebersol in the 80s right. when they first started doing Saturday Night's Main Event. Yeah.
But he's always been smart enough to have smart people around him, even if it was booking with Pat Patterson and, even with this guy, Kevin Dunn, because he's the guy in production, bro. He's getting it done. You know what I'm saying? He's smart enough to have smart people around him.
Yeah.
So let's get to the show. Yeah. So surprisingly, okay, now we've been very critical of Damage Control, okay,
right?
Because it's like you don't really care about the characters, and they haven't like give us a chance to care about them. But I'll be damned if Iyo Sky didn't pull out one of the best damn woman match performances of her and Bianca. This was an unbelievable match. Like Iyo Sky is like, it's like I don't care about her character, but in this setting where it was a pay-per-view and she had time, this was really, really, really good. Did you watch this, Konnan?
Yeah, I watched
it. What did you think of this match?
Okay, first I thought it was funny because at the beginning they both got a pop, but Iyo Sky got a little bit of booze, right?
Right.
But the longer the match went on, bro, in like 10 minutes, she was the baby face.
Because I think the fans. Now I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there, and this is going to be a controversial take.
Right.
But is Puerto Rico like are they like a? I don't even know what I want to say this again. Trouble. Are they like racist or anything? And like, were they cheering against Bianca because she's black? Like, is Puerto Rico like that at all?
No.
Okay, so what? I don't know. Because I was very puzzled at why this guy was getting cheered. You know, I was thinking because that crossed my mind. Because I'm wondering why on earth is she getting booed? I was like, did it cross your mind too?
No, never.
Okay, Dan. Okay, but I didn't know. You've been to Puerto Rico.
I've been to Puerto Rico. There's a lot of dark Puerto Ricans. Nobody gives a But anyways, so this was kind of weird to me, just like you, because she's a heel. Okay.
Right.
Most of her matches in Damage Control, she lost.
Right.
Okay. She can't speak the language. She doesn't have much charisma. She underacts most of the time. She is a good wrestler.
Right.
But I guess the hardcore, who are the most vocal and saw her online from Japan and NXT, feel she deserved better, and they just went with her, because I thought, wow, this is like a New York crowd or like a Chicago crowd. They're going to do what they want, not what they're dictated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what did you guys think of this?
You really?
You're all clicky, Carlos. Something's going on with your sound there.
Yeah, turn the chatterbait off.
I thought it was good. I mean, Bianca is pretty strong to handle. She had like a one-armed press, right? Off the turnbuckle. It was a good match, but like you could hear, them cheering for Iyo a little more than Bianca.
Yeah, and they might say, "Hey, let's go with her from here on out." That it might have been good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that whole crowd, I mean, from beginning to end, was just hot.
They were crazy, bro.
I was hoping you would have this watch along because I want to say like it's just maybe an inkling of what it used to be like, maybe in the Puerto Rico scene in the 90s, of just how fire it would be,
Bro, and I got a little bit of that. I got a little bit of that when I was there, because when I went to IWA, they were on fire, bro. And I do mean fire. Rabid crowds, full all the time, good angles, and then when I was with WCW, WWC, Carlito Colon, it was incredible because I was there during a period, some good feuds that was still drawing. So I was able to, get a taste of that.
All right, next is let me see. So next, Bad Bunny was shown backstage. A couple friends, Rey Mysterio, came in the room. Buddy and Ray hugged and spoke Spanish. And Savio entered the room. He got a pop. And presented Bad Bunny with a kendo stick that had the flag of Puerto Rico design on it. That was interesting.
Bro, let me just tell you real quick, because it was great for me to see the pop for Savio, because when I worked with him, he was like the Rock in Puerto Rico, and he was booking and head of creative, and he knew his and he could cut great promos. But I know Bunny's a big fan, because when he saw Savio, he called him Iyo Savio, which is Uncle Savio, which is what they call him on the island. You know what I'm saying? So you could tell right there he is a fan.
Next is Rollins and Omos. And Omos was there singing his song. This was okay, let me tell you something. I would not have done this spot, especially with Omos, who's kind of green. But Seth is sitting in the ring, standing in the ring with his arms and sides. He's got his eyes closed, okay? And the crowd is singing his song. And out of nowhere, Omos kicks him right in the head with a boot. And Seth's eyes were closed before he kicked him. So he's coming out of nowhere. I would not have done that. I mean, Cody, what did you think? That was kind of like a pretty dangerous spot to submit yourself to. Would you agree with that?
I don't think he thought he was going to kick him early, right?
I'm sure that was the spot.
Really? Okay.
I mean, why would he kick him out of nowhere when the guy's got his back turned and his eyes are closed?
Right.
So I guess so. But But this was a decent match because Seth, this was Omos's best match, and because Seth did all the work, and it was an extremely creative finish, where he hit him with the 2 stomps, still couldn't beat him, and then lined up and got him, went to the top rope and stomped him off from the top rope onto the thing for the finish, which I thought that's a believable way that you would have to beat this guy.
Right.
What do you think of his match? 10 minutes, perfect amount of time, didn't go too long. And Seth worked really hard for this. What did you guys think of this?
Yeah, the logic here I thought was great because before he could take off his ring jacket, the guy attacked him,
Right.
And everything he did was simple, was basic, but it looked good,
Right. Right.
We've been watching this guy for 3 or 4 years, and he's been brutal.
Yeah. How long has he been there? Joe, look that up. Because he debuted.
He was there before the pandemic.
No.
He debuted at that Raw Underground, right?
Yeah. So was Raw Underground during the pandemic or before the pandemic? It was during the pandemic,
no, before,
right?
I think.
No. I think it was
like
during the pandemic.
That was like a month before.
It was? Okay. So he was doing the bouncer. So it's been 3. Yeah, you're right. He's been around like 3 years, right? Yeah.
I liked it a lot, honestly. It just reminds me of old school wrestling. It was just simple, and then almost got beat, but it didn't look like he just went to lose. It looked like Seth had a.
Yeah.
Carlos, you might want to jump out and come back in. I don't know. Your sound's been kind of.
Just so you know, Carlos, you sound like a guy that's a creep and he doesn't want people to recognize his voice. And
yeah,
you're creeping me out.
Yeah. Like you're calling an ex-girlfriend from the payphone and disguising your voice.
No, a young kid. Yeah, is young Johnny there?
Cornette made a point about it that Omos is getting better, but they've already kind of ruined his mystique because he can't be the Andre and come in undefeated. So how do you build that character up again?
They can't. He's just a tall character. That's it. They beat him too many times already because they put him out there too quick. And then that was the thing. Well, there's a problem with what they did with him because he's green, and the fans see that, and because they pigeonholed themselves into putting him on TV, it's like they had to beat him, or else the fans would have on him going over, which is the way the fans are today. If
they would have put this guy in NXT for 4 years and then brought him up now, he would be crazy over as a heel or as a face. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he should have been what do you call it? A bodyguard for somebody. He should have done the Nash thing. So somebody they
could work.
AJ's bodyguard, yeah.
It was AJ's, but why did they shouldn't have never broken them up,
I think
they broke them up, but then AJ worked with him in the ring a little bit, but
you know who he'd be a great bodyguard for? What character on that show do you think he'd be great for? Because it would get him over too. Because he would get the residual effect from it. Dominic Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
A little punk kid with this big guy. He can hide by. Yeah. That'd be a good way for Dominic to learn how to be even more heelish, and work with this guy. I don't know.
Who's great?
Not a bad idea.
You guys obviously know, so it's a rhetorical question. But Seth Rollins has really become this complete package. Because I remember when he came in with the Shield. I knew him a little from Ring of Honor and stuff, and it was he's the guy in the Shield that does the high risk moves and the flips and stuff. But since then, he's turned into this complete package of interviews and in-ring work, and he can be a heel, he can be a babyface. He just has that confidence now that time will bring you.
Yeah.
No,
all right. So next is this was okay. So I'd forgotten this match wasn't built up at all. Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed in the triple threat. I wasn't that interested in it, and I don't think anybody's interested in it. And this is why it was quick. They put it on, and it was in and out in 7 minutes. There's a 7-minute match, and Austin Theory went over, and they boom, 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 and that was it. So that was to me they could have gone long with this, 15 minutes or so, like typical pay-per-view matches. But what would the point have been? You know what I'm saying? To show these guys could work. I mean, all these guys have been fighting each other for the past like Austin Theory and Lashley have had an angle going on for like 4 or 5 months now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Any comment on this? I thought this was a throwaway match.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to see what the finish was going to be. That I was most interested in that. And they actually protected Bronson because he missed a moonsault, then got speared. Then Theory chucks Lashley outside and steals a pin, which is a good heel move and a finish, by the way.
Right. Next is you got anybody else that got a comment on this? Yeah, nobody cared about this. So next was Zelina Vega versus what's her name? Rhea. Now nobody knew she was going to win. She got a great pop. She broke down and cried. I mean, she's never got a big pop like that. And like people were criticizing her for like but bro,
criticizing her for what?
For crying during the ring entrance to get emotional.
Come on.
Well, I'm just saying, but that's people that have
Those
never.
Those are real emotions, yeah.
And plus, too, athletes cry and big. Bro, when you're in front of a big crowd like that, it's a very. No, you can't imagine the feeling unless you've actually been there before. When you're sitting in front of a crowd and they're all cheering for you, and it's just an adrenaline rush. So this can be overwhelming sometimes for some of these, especially her. It's the first.
Right, it can last for days.
It's the first time she's ever gotten a big pop. That's right, yeah. So
and her mother, dad's, I don't know if her mother's Puerto Rican, but I know one of them is. And to go there.
Well, her dad died in 9/11.
Right.
You know that?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
so maybe she was thinking about her dad and cry, so whatever. So, but the first,
it was genuine emotion, like Konnan said, and stuff like that. It's going to further endear her to the crowd.
Right.
Right.
But there was no chance of her winning this match. They kept it short, which they should have, because this would have been, if it went 15 minutes, Zelina should have gone over, But then Rhea was going over, so she won in 7 minutes, and she actually made her look pretty good, to be honest with you. So
yeah, she did, and I liked the cape that she was wearing, Vega, the Puerto Rican cape. Mm-hmm. I liked Rhea's gear too, and people just loved her, and because she's one of them. And that's beautiful, bro. And plus, that Puerto Rican crowd, I can't say it's enough. It's one of the best crowds that I've ever seen in my life, bro. They were going nuts for everything.
Yeah.
What a great seller Rhea is, right? Like taking that DDT and stumbling, and then like using her head for the headbutt, and then pointing. Like she's awesome. She's a really good wrestler.
Yeah. I want to send you something here. Joe, I'm going to send you this because I want to show this. All right. Okay. All right. Play this clip.
And the Twitter.
So next is Bad Bunny, okay, and Damien Priest, and this was like. I'm texting it. I got a friend of mine that texted. He used to be a writer for WWE. We're texting during this, and he's like, I picked up the show, like I guess the women's match had started. Okay, and I forgot. Oh, it's started right now. So so he was texting me like right off the bat, like this crowd's unbelievable, right? So we were texting each other, and like during this Bad Bunny entrance, I was saying like we were texting, bro, if Bunny goes over, this might be one of the biggest pops they'll ever have ever. Because like you can see this crowd. So Joe, play this entrance. This is just awesome, especially the way they shot this with the drone footage.
Right.
Like this is just unbelievable production. Okay, watch this, up, Joe. So this match, I guess they said Jamie Noble and Brian Kendrick laid this out, right? The agents.
Huh.
I mean, I'd like to know how much rehearsing they had to do for this. Like they obviously they had to do. It wasn't just the day of. But I'd like to know how far along Bad Bunny is, because bro, it's like these celebrities that get on this show and like this was a good match to where it was it wasn't. They weren't telling the story of like Bad Bunny was an actual wrestler fighting Damien Priest. It's like okay, Bad Bunny was like this recording artist and everything, so he would get some in, but Priest would cut him off. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna he's there, and he was kind of dismissive of him, until they did the thing where he went to kick him, and he kicked him and he sold the leg, and he did an unbelievable job selling the leg like he was really hurt and stuff, And this was just an excellent spectacle. Once again, every time they got Bunny or Logan Paul or Pat McAfee have performed, they've scored an A+ every single time. Like there hasn't even been like one performance that these celebrities that they put in the ring have you've looked and you're bro, they were actually, people talk about their matches as like that might be one of the best matches of the year when the celebrities perform. And I just thought this was awesome. As a huge pop for Carlito, a huge pop on the punches for the old school wrestling fans that were popping on the punches. And bro, everything was just great in this, So I gave it, to me, this was 5 stars entertainment, just because it's like I can't believe you're watching but like the most downloaded recording artist in the world. He's just killing it out there as a professional wrestler. Konnan, what'd you think?
Right. I like that you liked his song. You were like, hey, that's a pretty good song.
Yeah, Chame, yeah.
So, like 6 years old. So,
well, it's funny too because I'm playing the song,
club, bro.
Yeah, I'm playing the song I was watching that at work, and the girls are coming and going, "Yeah, Chame!" Like all the girls love the song, right? Yeah. So what do you think of this?
Just imagine that, bro. This is major props to the most famous singer of our generation. With this generation, with like maybe 4 matches to his resume. And he went out there for almost half an hour. And they used bells and whistles, which worked, but he did his part. Major props to both. And people, they were into that song, which made it even more dope. And this is just great. The people were really into it. And at the end with the LWO and Carlito and the Canadian Destroyer, everything, bro. This was great. I enjoyed all of it. How about you guys?
It was pretty cool because, and we'll joke about me and the Monster Factory and stuff, but when I was down there, Damien was down there. He was Punisher Martinez. And it was like he had a Ring of Honor tryout, and then he had an NXT tryout, and he was getting himself in shape because he had let himself go previously and kind of lost faith. So it's just really cool for me to see a guy like that who dedicated himself and now looked like, dude, that's one of the biggest matches of the last 10 years, if not of all time. And there he is in the middle of it,
And bro, let me tell you.
Puerto Rico, I thought that was so cool.
But let me tell you the best part of that. Is he your friend or is he just a guy that you know?
I don't talk to him as much as I used to, but I talked to him about the match a little bit. Yeah, he's good. Dude.
So I met him over there and he's very, very, very cool dude, bro. Just a respectful guy. Yeah. So I'm glad that. Yeah.
He did a drop for the show way back when I first started. Yeah.
I think
I'm glad he's doing good.
Yeah, it's a testament to how much they trust him, right? To go in with
I was thinking that too.
The world's most famous singer and don't hurt him.
Bro, and he came through with flying colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his stock has risen in that company. And you got anything to say, Carlos?
No, I mean, it was just at one point it felt kind of slow just because they were kind of brawling all over the place. But once all the pop started with everyone coming out, there was no going back, man. That crowd was insane.
Yeah.
So next it's kind of weird that they said that. I was very confused. That was a semi-main event. Okay. The co-main event.
Right.
But it was third from the top. I don't know about that. Have you ever seen, Konnan, a co-main event, another match, and then the main event?
Yeah.
I've never seen the co-main event is always I think that might be the first time in combat sports history or wrestling history that the co-main event didn't go on right before the main event.
I wonder if somebody for some reason was there late or something.
No, because they did not want Cody following the Bad Bunny stuff. Is what I'm thinking, right? Because bro, because how you gonna get a bigger pop? You knew he was because they knew he was going over,
right?
So they knew it would be a huge pop. So then it's you had to put something in between to make feel but
that could be it,
right? So they're very interesting. You guys will probably be surprised at this. Okay, I did not watch except for the finish of the 6-man tag.
Right.
I was doing something, but I imagine it was good, and I just read. But I did like the spot where Solo was threatening to hit. It was threatening to do the spike on Jey Uso.
Right.
Because they're keeping that going. They're building it up. They're letting it brew. It's like a brewing. It's like a fire like that. It's like you're throwing gasoline on the fire and it's going to explode at some point. But bro, that's the one thing that the WWE does very well is you watch that spot that they did, and bro, just the acting and the facial expressions are just incredible with these people, the way they tell stories here, Right. And of course the baby faces go over to try and oh no, actually they didn't. The Solo went over, but right. But they beat Riddle, which is kind of weird because I don't know I don't know why that was the finish, because maybe I don't know. But what'd you think?
Okay. Oh God.
What?
Cat.
Unannounced run-in.
What'd you guys think of this match?
Yeah, I thought the same thing you did. It's kind of interesting how they decided to do what they did, but I guess Riddle got a little bit of trouble now, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of neither here nor there. I think in Raw they kind of tied it back around for Raw when they let the Usos win. So
right,
it's just a back and forth on that one.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Joe, is this mean for me to say? I wish when you picked up your cat, he scratched your good eye.
Yeah, he's one of those too. So.
All right.
But
no, I just go ahead.
No, just that the finish was. I think Matt alluded to it. With Riddle, it's probably something to do with him being suspended. They're like, guess what? You're taking the fall. So.
I just like how the storyline progression. Jay and Sikoa were talking a little trash to each other, having little issues, and then Sami nailed Jay with that haluva kick, but Sikoa saved him, but he gave him a look, and even at the end of that match, he didn't look happy either. Right. So,
yeah, the other brothers all smiles, right? Yeah, we won, and the other two are just like daggers at each other.
Right.
So next was Cody versus Brock in the main event. So Cody attacked Brock before the match, and they started it anyway. So okay, great. This is funny too. Graves is trying to explain that was all legal before the bell. It's like only in the wrestling universe is is it legal for the guy to attack the guy before the bell starts? I don't know. It's kind of that is a funny kind of unwritten rule. That they have in professional wrestling, if you think about it. Would you
hit him with a tope, right? Didn't he hit him with a tope?
And the stairs. Yeah, right. Yeah, the stairs. So of course, this match is, you assumed he was going to go to Suplex City, which he did. So Cody was just getting battered. So Lesnar went into the exposed turnbuckle, and he started to. Bro, does Brock get hard way color every time he works?
A lot.
Hell of a deal.
Is he supposed to? I heard maybe Endeavor they might be more open to more blood.
Yeah.
On these shows, but I would doubt. Maybe once every blue moon.
Yeah.
I can see it, but there's no way they're gonna go.
That
go
doesn't
bloody
make a difference with Brock, like you said. Brock. At least 1 out of 3 matches will hit the post or the corner and bleed.
Right. And he was like on Raw. Did you see his face?
Nuts.
Yeah. He was like beat up. But basically, Brock put him in a Kimura, and Cody did a like this creative thing where he did like a headstand or something, and then got him down, his shoulders down for a pin, and pinned him 1, 2, 3, which is like he beat him, so he could say he beat him. But it wasn't like this was like a decisive victory because Brock was beating the out of this guy. So,
but that was a clever finish.
Very clever finish. What'd you think of this?
It was very well paced. It was very good. It was 2 guys that know how to work, and they worked to their strengths, and it was believable, and it was a good match. And and obviously Lesnar is doing that hard way because he's probably old school that way. I'm not gonna cut myself. I'll just open myself. But you remember that story about like one of the Steiner brothers needed a black eye and the other one punched his eye?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, some people are just wired like that. Lesnar's obviously one of them.
Yeah.
But good. That was I thought it was a good show all around. Yeah. And what do you guys think?
I just, as a comment, I mean, where do you think when it's all said and done, I think Brock will be remembered as one hell of a wrestler. Like he puts on really good matches, and
since he came back, there hasn't been any stinkers. Like him and Hunter was kind of like, but like anybody you put him in, whether it's Cena or Styles or Punk or Bryan or Balor or Cody here, like he's gonna tear it up. Undertaker.
Yes, because I think you once upon a time you used to hear oh, he's not into it or he doesn't like it. And it's like I don't see that anytime he's in
how
the
could
ring.
that be? Right.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, so that was a good show. Once again, the WWE, when these pay-per-views are over, they make you like it. They make you kind of like anticipate can't wait for the next one to see how they're going to top themselves from before. So I thought, this is a great show. I thought, and especially with the crowd, they need to start going more to these markets where you're going to know the crowd's going to be like lit. So it's like some of these foreign markets would probably be really good for that. Like I think they go in the O2 Arena this summer in England. That'll be super
ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. So
that'll be ridiculous for AEW too. You know, those is that since they only get WWE every few years, when they come, everybody's there.
It's going to be interesting though to see the difference between the AEW type fans and the WWE fans over there for the two different shows. Because the one thing that from the AEW crowd, it's going to be all people that look like the AEW crowds here. Black shirts, white kids, black T-shirts and stuff. Doing the "This is awesome" chants and stuff. Everything. But I don't know if that's the because you don't really get like the same type of reaction that the AEW crowds, the WWE crowds would get here. You know what I'm saying? They're more into the simplicity of it and the finishes instead of the chants and stuff like that. There's not a lot of "This is awesome" chants in the show. Actually, Cody, you speak Spanish. Were they chanting "This is awesome" in Spanish?
No.
They weren't? So I was like, so it's kind of weird. It's like two different type of crowd reactions. But I thought this is a good show.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you think that if AEW went to Puerto Rico, they would have that same response?
What, AEW?
Yeah.
No. Well,
no, bro. That crowd was there for Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
That's a different. There's nobody. They look at the two biggest pops in the show. It was Bad Bunny and Carlito. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, bro. Puerto Rico's a very small island.
Yeah.
Like supposedly, like Cody, what is he? He can get it's like a 2.5 hour drive, right?
Right.
Like back and forth on it. So you have a very populated area, or a heavily populated area in a small island, and like the people that from Puerto Rico, so everybody knows these guys. They probably, bro. If you live in Puerto Rico, or like you've probably seen these guys walking the streets at some point. Like you've got a grocery store, and you've seen Carlito and stuff like if they all live there, right? It's a small town, But what a crowd! I thought the show was great.
They booked the show, and some obviously with the surprises with Savio, Carlito. That's cool. A nod to the history and everything. But
yeah,
I guess booking Puerto Rico would be like booking Philly or any other city that likes violence, because wrestling in Puerto Rico has a lot of blood, a lot of stabbing and weapons and all that, And so that's what they did with Cody and Brock. You got the blood, you got all the weapons in the Bunny Priest match, So I thought that was smart of them.
I mean, the pop was so loud for Savio, you couldn't even hear what they were saying to each other, and that was backstage. It was incredible.
Super cool, yeah.
That's a really good show. So, you guys got any comments?
Well put together.
Yeah. You guys got any comments, Matthew, Carlos? No?
Go ahead, Carlos. I have a question. Long term for Ray and Dominic, is it going to be, finally the LWO turns on Ray later on, and no one's there to save him, and Dom's like, hey, like that's my father, regardless of whatever, and that's how he turns face, or is it Judgment Day going to turn on Dom, and Ray's not going to be able to tolerate seeing that, and finally go save his son or something? What do you think?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I don't know, because I never ask them where the storyline's going, but there's so many things you can do. I mean, and they will all work. They're in a real artistic glory period right now, where they have, a couple good stories going on at the same time, getting a lot of people, like they're really getting their right over there.